This recipe is so perfectly Moorish, it should come with a warning sign. Be careful of addiction. It's sweet, salty, sour, spicy, savoury, all in one. It's a Hong Kong style Char Siu. Hey guys, I'm Jeremy from School of Wok, London's premier Asian cookery school. Welcome back to Wok Wednesdays. Now this dish is from my book Hong Kong Diner, and it's kind of like a home version of your Char Siu, your classic Hong Kong barbecued pork. And traditionally, they would use in the restaurants a fair bit of red food colouring for this, but I kind of try not to use too much sort of food colouring in my cooking. So I've got some tomato paste that will go into the marinade, and it really is a very quick and simple dish to prepare. Start off with your ginger and garlic, bashed and finely chopped. Once you chopped your ginger and garlic, the rest is super simple. There's a fair few ingredients in this, and I'm trying to sort of match the flavour of a classic sort of restaurant style Hong Kong Char Siu as much as possible. But aside from pulling together a few sauces, it's not hard at all. So I've got a good bit of tomato paste, and that's to replace the sort of redness of your red food colouring that you'd get from a restaurant sort of marinade. And then a good 4 tablespoons of honey. And traditionally for Char Siu or Cantonese roast meats, they'd use this really, really thick maltose over honey. So it's so thick that you kind of have to like really dig into the pot. But at home, honey works just fine. Same amount of hoisin sauce. That's the sort of thicker ingredients. Just going to give that a mix together roughly. And then we're going for a couple of tablespoons of light soy sauce and the same amount of Shao Xing rice wine, the thinner ingredients, and that'll give us the saltiness from the light soy sauce and a nice sort of mellow, sweet, savoury, aromatic flavour from the Shao Xing rice wine. I've not got masses of meat here, so I'm just using a little tray to bring it all together. Now right now you can see that red-ish or that maroon colour in the sauce. A couple of teaspoons of dark soy sauce now, just to deepen that colour. And I've left that to now just to show you sort of how red it starts. And then when you mix the dark soy sauce in, of course it's going to be darker, but when it then sits on the meat, and I've got this lovely pork shoulder steak here, it will eventually come out this deep red when it's roasted. And that's what I prefer for home cooking, rather than a bright red. Now, the only extra bits of flavour that I like to put in this is a little bit of 5 spice. You're talking half a teaspoon, a little pinch. You probably know by now, if you've seen a few of the videos, could have a combination of 5 or more spices. The main ones being star anise, cinnamon, fennel, clove, and then added ones would be maybe garlic powder or Sichuan peppercorns, black peppercorns, but I've got some black pepper that I've just popped into there as well. So we've got this lovely sort of sticky marinade almost ready. The last thing I'm going to pour into that is a couple of teaspoons of sesame oil. And this smells amazing already, and because of all the different sauces in here, it's quite strong marinade. Obviously, the longer you leave it in the marinade, the more colour you're going to get around the pork. But flavour-wise, because it's so strong, I don't mind just cooking it straight away either. And I've got about 1 kilo of pork shoulder joint here. I like buying the whole joint, but you can do this with just pork shoulder steaks if you wish. The skin you don't need for this dish, but if you're like me and my sisters and you've got a joint like this, don't ever just throw that skin away. Put it in your freezer and make some crackling another day. Shoulder or neck are great for char siu because they've got all this lovely sort of marbling in the meat, which works a treat when you're sort of slicing into it. You've got that lovely moisture from the fat. I'm using the School of Wok medium-sized cleaver here, probably closer to a Japanese sort of santoku knife, and it just sort of glides through the meat nicely.
Where can you buy it?
You can buy it on the School of Wok website. So from that kilo, I've just sliced that in half, and I've got two lovely long pieces. You want them to be sort of thick enough so that we can slow roast it before I then finish it off on a high heat under the grill. Into the marinade. Make sure that both or each piece is well covered in that barbecue sauce. Give your hands a clean. And then I'm going to pop that into the oven, 130 degrees C, for about an hour and a half. After 1.5 hours, all you have to do is whack the oven up to 230 degrees C or put it under the grill about 5 to 10 minutes on each side. Just one turn will do. So you've got this lovely char on the pork from that sort of last baste and then finish under the grill. I put it at 250 degrees C. And actually with the char siu, I quite like just to slice it quite thick when I'm at home. So find the ones, and when you're at the restaurant you get it sort of really thin slices, but I like being able to have a bit of char on each piece. I slice rather than chop because I've slow cooked this. And so I don't want the meat to or just fall apart until it hits my tongue. Look at that. That piece is for me. As I said at the beginning, perfectly Moorish. Guys, if you like this recipe and you want to learn more, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ding, and hit that notification bell because this is amazing.